Intel and DigitalBridge announced the formation of an AI company called Articulate. Dan, what is this? I didn't get briefed on this. I did see the press release cross, but can you parse through here?
It seems like a bit of an accelerator, Pat. I didn't get either. Our team wrote a research note. We'll put it in the link. It basically was created with IP that was developed at Intel, um, and the companies are going to be working together to kind of scale demand for enterprise workloads. And by the way, this is a technology agnostic, meaning hardware agnostic tie-up, meaning these things aren't being tried and tested on Intel silicon, but it's not only for Intel silicon. And so, there's an investment arm in this. So, DigitalBridge Ventures, that's the venture initiative of DigitalBridge, was the lead investor. But there was a bunch of other investors that came into this. Fin Capital, Mindset, Communitas. So just this is a bigger group. And it's all about Gen AI. It's all about the fact that the expectation is that Gen AI is going to scale substantially in how it's going to be incorporated into workflows. And that basically building turnkey Gen AI software platforms, speed, security, efficiency, and coming together and doing so, and optimizing it on Intel to test and show that it can be done. Now, there was some early testing of the software. It was done with BCG, another kind of well-known, consulting organization. They've worked together to scale the platform. They've worked with enterprise customers. They focused on the big industries, so fin service, telecommunication. I believe they also work even in the semiconductor industry. And so, effectively, this independent company, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if this is a Gelsinger thing, but he does like to kind of create these subsidiaries and partnerships. He's done it with, he did it with the Mobileye spinoff. He's doing it now with the FPGA spinoff. This is another sort of co-invested partner strategy. But I think what it is it's like a proof of concept environment for Intel's hardware. It's the company's ability to bring an ecosystem together, to build software, which is a big proof point for the company, to scale the adoption of generative AI, and to do so kind of outside of the walls of the Intel org, but to do so with Intel still being front and center. And so, effectively, it's an AI platform. Customer data training, inference, security, and gives the customer the ability to deploy these Gen AI workloads in cloud, on-prem, in a hybrid environment, and to do so in an open ecosystem. So, Pat, I don't know if we didn't get briefed because it's a kind of a footnote type of announcement, but it seemed pretty big to me. And it seems like an important proof point as Intel is really trying to make sure it inserts itself in a meaningful way into this Gen AI conversation.
Yeah, listen, I probably got invited, but I was skiing in Aspen on January 3rd. So
yeah.
No,
It's fair that we say that. We might have both been in transit when this was going on.
So there's a lot of ways that Intel could have taken this, right? One thing says, oh, hey, there's no value. Let's shut this down. The second way is to open source it, right? Offer it to everybody and maybe, put it in the Linux Foundation or something like that. And the third way is to do what they did, which is to spin it off as its own company. So obviously the company thinks the mission and what the company does absolutely has value, right? And, described as a full stack, vertically optimized generative AI platform that goes across cloud, on-prem, or hybrid, right? That's almost too good to be true. Like almost nobody has figured that out yet. So it seems like there's value, and I'm just had a quote from CEO Pat Gelsinger, which means that this is pretty important here. But Pat obviously sees this better on its own than sitting inside of Intel. So
yeah, I mean, he makes a lot of wise calls. I'm kind of watching and learning what's going to happen here. want a little more detail, maybe a little more specificity on kind of what these partnerships entail, what they're going to build, what they're going to deliver. But it sounds to me like this is about pairing up the complexities of hardware, software, service relationships and delivering Gen AI at scale. And it's something that I know it's very top of mind to Pat and to Intel. So good stuff, Pat.
Yeah, my final commentary is I think I remember now a conversation about Intel getting into this business themselves, which it appears that they're not going to do that. And what comes out of the back end is Articulate. So it's going to be an interesting thing to watch. And the companies I would expect to get on this would be, some of the largest companies out there. Interestingly enough, Articulate does have some customers listed on their website. One of them is obviously BCG, like you said, but also a company called Uptix, and the other one, which is Scripps, which interesting.